Hi everybody, it's Kathy here and it is Sunday afternoon, so that means we are Scraplift Craftanooning. That's right, the crew are getting together and we are scraplifting one of our own. Happy birthday Rona, it's for you today. We are scraplifting this amazing layout that you chose for us. So I've got a bit of everything happening today just to celebrate Rona's birthday and get that scraplift happening. So first of all, I'm going to create a whole lot of plates here with my Gelli Plate, and I'm going to use those to create the hexagons for my layout. So I'm using some watercolor paints here. I'm adding in some water. I'm splashing it around. I've added in some spritz to put some color glitz in there, and I'm just layering it up beautifully. Look at that, just lovely. A bit of gold and copper and yellow. This time I'm adding in some white acrylic paint with some copper and some gold, and I'm just using my brayer to move it across, and it's going into place there. I then am going to lift off some of that stencil with a a wipe, and you can just see that I got a reflective pattern there, and now I'm going to go over the top with white paint. And then I'm going to lift the whole lot off again, and that's going to create another background that I'm going to be able to use. And there is just layer upon layer of scrumptiousness happening here. So I'm just putting in the watercolors, mixing them up, moving them around, and playing just with the papers today. So some of them I'm also putting into some odd colours, and you're thinking the others were reds and golds and coppers, and now she's got a bit of blues and greens in there. But you will see how that all comes together for this layout and marries beautifully. Now, this is only my second time ever of using the Gelli pad. I'm not that fantastic at it. I will need to practice lots, I think, to get very creative. But it's doing what I want for today. And as I said, I've got a mix of watercolours, I've got a mix of acrylics, and I've got stencils happening and stamps happening, and I just love the overall effect that this is creating. So that's one layer out there. Here's the second one with the negative, and I just like how this really works. It's just crazy. Like, there's so many things to be done with it. I'm just going to be experimenting all holidays, I think, for lots and lots of different reasons and lots of different patterns. So I'm just finishing up here with a bit more with the stamping. As you just saw, I added that stamping and I layered it up, and it's just beautiful to be able to just layer up over the top. This one I'm going to get really thick with this red, and then that's going over the top as well. So there's lots of things happening on these cards, and you can just see it. Now that they're dry and I've put them to the side for a bit of a while, I'm coming back in with my stamps, and I'm going to go over it with some stamps that I want to build up some visual interest on each of these, using some text and some scattering hearts. I have a clock type dial one that I'm adding in, and I just love that this is all coming together. I'm adding in some triangles here just for a bit more visual interest, and that's creating my cards, which I am going to cut my hexagons. And then I'm just going to finish it off here with some spritz splatters, and that's my mixed media that I'm using for this layout. And you can just see it's got a little bit of everything, and look at each one of them turns out so spectacular yet so uniquely different. And that's just the beauty of the Gelli pad. And if you haven't got one, that's okay. If you do, don't forget to use it. It's a great tool. I can't believe how long I've gone without one. So now that I've done that and they're all dry, I've cut out my hexagons so I can get started on my layout. And I am using a Stampin' Up background here. This was from one of their Christmas range. I love it. It's got gold flecks through the granite type marbly background, and it's perfect for these Gelli Plate created hexagons. So I'm just layering them up as Rona's pretty much got on hers. I'm pretty much going to stay close to her layout. I just love it. I think it's fun. I think it's great. And I just love hexagons on a layout, so this was perfect. So the colours I have chosen reflect my photo, and it's a bit frivolous, and that's what my photo is about as well. So I'm just making sure that I'm filling them in, and you'll see that I adjust them around a little bit more as we move. And I just love that there's that range of colours on that background, and it's picking out the colours in the granity colour paper as well. I actually think I might need to order some more of these papers if they're still available with Stampin' Up, because they are just brilliant, these gold granity type reflection papers. I just love them. So I'm just putting down these hexagons a little bit more further into the layout, and I love how that's come together so far. Now Rona's got hand stitching, and I really wanted to stay true to it because it is her birthday and we are scrap lifting her. So I am going ahead and punching in the holes necessary to get this scrap lift pretty much the same as she has for hers. And so I will hand stitch around my hexagons just the way she has on her layout, but I won't make you sit there and watch for 100 years. It does take a long time, I'm not going to lie. Hand sewing is not my strength. It does take a little bit of time for me to get it happening, but I do like the effect when it is done. And I'm using 3 strands of embroidery floss, and I'm going to use some orange and I'm going to use some blue, and that's just going to reflect the colours from my layout. So I start mine off, and I'm just doing a back running stitch so that each of the spaces are stitched into the layout. And when I've done a few of those, I will adhere the back with some washi tape so that the threads don't come through when the layout is completed. And this does, as I said, take time to do. I'm not going to lie, it took me all afternoon to get this done. So if you want to include real stitching, expect it to be a time frame thing that takes up a fair amount of time to do. But as you see when they're done, they're well worth it. The effect, the texture, it's just so rich, and it just adds that little bit of special, just that little bit of love sewn into your layout. So I've gone ahead off screen and stitched them all. I have blue and orange, as I said. Now I'm preparing my chipboard, and I'm using the first place ribbon, I think it's called, and that's brand new oxide that I've just gotten, and I'm putting it onto the chipboard. I have some little starbursts that I'm going to use around the layout, and I have my title, which I am colouring up in the blue. Now, it is a very bright blue, which is great because when you see my photo, you will see that it's just reflective of it. Now here I'm placing my photo in, and there it is. That's my daughter up in a tree at autumn time with all the rich colours behind her. And I love this photo because she is just so happy. She has got a new boyfriend, and he just makes her glow. Like, she is just happy, and it's been a very, very long time that she's happy. And so I just love how this is reflected in this photo. I have got a tag here that is already pre-made, and then I am using a label and I'm turning that into a tag as well. And I'm all fingers and thumbs when it comes to tying up tags. So I was going to try and do a bow, but I've just left it. Rona has bows on hers, but I'm not going to use a bow. I just have too many bigger thumbs, I think, and it just doesn't work for me. So I'm just going to leave them as loose thread through my tags, and I will strategically glue them into place so that they look like they naturally fold there. Now down the side, Rona had a scallop edging, and I am going to add this decorative punch edge just into that same spot, and it's going to go to the left where Rona has hers, and I'm also going to have just about the same length as hers, so that it doesn't go the full length of the photo but is topping with the photo and running down. And I just love the contrast that blue provides to all the reds and oranges and yellows in the layout. Now I'm tucking in some more of those hexagons that I cut using my punch, and the leftover from my Gelli Plate prints, and I just like that little bit of extra detail that adds to the layout as well. I'm going to pop that one up on foam tape, and that's going to create a cluster point over here to the left. Now that I've done that, we can now get started with the embellishing of the layout, and I just love the colours in it. It's just perfect. I'm sorry, I just like the Gelli print. It just is amazing in how well that turned out. So I'm going to carry the stamping across as is from the hexagons, and I'm just putting a few of these scattered hearts around. Rona has stars on hers, I believe, and I'm just trying to stay true to Rona's layout because it is a fun layout. Now I'm just going to cluster up with some of these fussy cut items, plus put my title in, and now you can see why that blue is there. It just looks perfect with the blue in the sky from that photo. I'm just layering up these fussy cut flowers from Scrap Sketch, their printable range. It is their autumn harvest, and the colours were just perfect to match in with what I wanted to present on this layout. I'm just going to layer up some hearts here and tuck in some more hearts around the layout, plus those starbursts, and I will go off screen once I'm happy and glue it all down so that you can see the final product as I have done here. And I have popped some of those hearts, and I've popped some of those flowers, and I'm just looking at my layout now. As you can see, I do this often. I sit and think and watch it for a while, just let it, percolate in the brain whether I am happy with it or not. So there's your first run through of a close-up of the layout. You can see the stitching there. You can see those clusters in place, but as always, that's just not enough for me, so I've got to add a little bit more. So I'm going to add some yellow Nuvo drops into my 3 strategic points so that I create the visual triangle around that layout, subtly filling those spaces to make your eye fill in. And then I'm going to add in some extra splashes with the weathered wood, and that's my final layout, and I am very, very happy with it. So happy birthday, Rona. I hope you have a great one. Don't forget to go and check out everybody else who's playing along on Scraplift Crafternoon. There are 11 of us if we're all playing, and trust me, they are outstanding, the people that are creating. You will be blown away. Check them all out. I can't wait to see what they've all done. I learn so much by watching them every week. So happy scrapping, everybody. Thanks, Sarah, for organising. See you next week.